to Bloody Good Horror.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of Bloody Good Horror. My name is Eric, and I'll be your host for this evening, where we will be reviewing Psycho Goreman? Psycho Goreman. Is that what we decided, Caitlin?
That I was pronouncing it like a last name, but I could be wrong.
All right, we got to stand by for a second. I'm having a major audio issue here. Can somebody say something?
Hello? I think it is Goreman. Isn't that what it said? Like,
that's definitely what the, yeah.
Does anything sound different to you guys?
No.
No.
You guys are all of a sudden only coming over on one channel, and I don't know why. Can you guys just keep talking?
No. I assume it's something to do with. Are we still live?
Yes, we are.
I have opinions on why this is happening, but I don't want to say.
What the fuck?
Jamie and Matt apparently are not watching.
Whew.
I need you guys to just keep talking because I got to figure this out. I got to keep messing with it, but I don't know if it's working unless you're talking.
My dry January wraps up next Monday. I'm pretty excited about that.
How hard are you going? You gonna go?
So I don't know, because it's a Monday, and in general, I'm trying not to drink during the week, so I may actually push all the way out to the following Friday.
Yeah, why not?
Still smoking weed, so it's not like I'm really that.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Joe, what's going to be your first drink?
I don't know. I might I bought a bunch of stuff during the holidays to make Mai Tais at home, so that'll probably be my go-to.
That's solid.
It's not. Leslie and I were talking about I don't miss we were getting drunk a lot, and I don't miss that, and I don't miss waking up sick, but I do miss like when we cook on a Saturday night, just having a beer or a glass of wine. So
You're making me worried about you, buddy.
Yeah. Well, the whole thing sparked. We were kind of on the fence about it.
I gotta go look really quick and see if I have a replacement cord. Sorry, guys. Stand by.
Okay. We were kind of on the fence about doing it, and then I want to say it was 2 days before New Year's, we split 2 bottles of wine, meaning we had a bottle of wine each, and both of us are I feel absolutely nothing. And we're all right. I'm maybe we'll let's give this a go.
Do a little reset.
Yeah, and Leslie didn't even like the taste of wine anymore. We were drinking a lot.
Oh,
So-
I was, dude, for the holidays, it was every day,
The holidays were a disaster.
several drinks,
Yeah.
Well, you just can't do anything. I'm so goddamn bored most of the time.
Yeah.
I literally, if I'm not going to drink, if I want to not drink for a night, I have to plan what I'm going to do with my time.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I'm just fuck it. I need something to
Well, I was technically working during those 2 weeks, but it was really slow, or at least in the morning. So usually Saturday nights, we'll watch a movie and we'll have a few, and then end up probably smoking some weed too. But it was every night was a Saturday, so it just by New Year's, I'm just I think I'm gonna die. I don't want to do this anymore. So here we are now, clean and sober. I'm pretty much straight edge.
I mean, I'm non-weed straight edge. What do you call that?
Well, caffeine too. I think you're not supposed to have caffeine, so.
Oh, whoa. Hello.
No caffeine.
Yeah. I don't know if that's all straight edge. I mean, I went to school in Philly during the height of it, and you couldn't swing a stick without hitting a straight edge kid. And most of them didn't drink caffeine either.
Couldn't be me.
I didn't drink caffeine, or I didn't drink coffee rather in college. I didn't start drinking coffee.
Oh,
for real.
Yeah, mine too. Yeah, because I went to school in Philly, and we were on, our schedules were weird. We would only have 3 classes a day, but they were 3-hour classes, I think.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. So if you didn't have, by the time I was, in my second year, I could schedule my own stuff. So I never had a class before noon.
Oh, you're saying there were only like 3 different sessions.
Yes,
Like-
yeah.
Gotcha.
So I would.
a night. My thing is like I either drink nothing or I drink 3 or 4. Like it's
That's a-
like
Okay.
I don't know.
I have determined that it is not affecting the recording. For some reason, I'm only hearing you guys in my left ear, but it is not being recorded that way.
Alright.
So we are just going to carry on. I just had to confirm that it wasn't being recorded before
Cool.
Nip.
Well, you just
before I
got some
ripped
A plus
everything out.
audio to use.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. I'm sorry. I just want to make sure that because that would have caused a problem. I'm going to have to figure why you guys are only in my left ear later. Okay.
We'll do this.
Yeah, I'm just sorry. That just spooked me. I'm just thinking. All right. I think we're good. From the
You
top.
wanna- We could ask the slackies if anything sounds weird in the video.
Yeah, I'm told that the video sounds fine.
Alright.
And I confirmed the recording sounds fine, so.
We've established they have low standards though, so
Whoa,
They're-
easy, easy.
They're
Alright.
watching us.
let's
I come
let's-
from those people.
oh,
they're my
No,
people.
you're better than now.
we are
Caitlin.
all
You've,
one.
you've risen up from the. I don't want to use the word trash, but like.
Oh my god, this is gonna be revolts. This is gonna be bad.
All right, I'm ready.
We're
Let's go.
causing a real problem.
Stand by. Everybody mute.
Welcome to Bloody Good Horror.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of Bloody Good Horror. My name is Eric, and I'll be your host for this evening, where we will be reviewing Psycho Goreman, a movie, a name from an actual movie. I'm going to be your host for this evening. Joining me tonight, first up from Maryland, please welcome John Schnars to the show.
The state's so great they
The
named it
state's
twice.
so nice they named
Mhm.
it twice. Next up on the show from Chicago, Illinois, please welcome Joe.
I just want to apologize in advance, Jamie and Matt, about what's about to happen here.
And last up tonight, joining us again, third week in a row, question mark. Please welcome from Richmond, Virginia, the lovely Kaylin.
Thank you. I'm so glad you said my location. It means so much to me.
Hey, it's the one I'll always
and
know.
the city of Richmond.
If John would just put it in his username, I would know where he is.
Where are you in Maryland, John?
Annapolis,
Okay,
the capital,
Mm.
one capital to another.
that's right. Not far.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think I told you my father-in-law's from Richmond, so we're
Good
big
man.
Richmond people around here.
I think like Maryland's not really considered a state, right? Like it's just like size-wise, it's just above Delaware, right? Which
It's sort of to the left of Delaware, I think, technically.
like, do your votes count? Like, did you get to vote in Maryland?
I think Maryland's probably like in the top. It's certainly in the top half of populated states, I would guess.
Really?
Okay.
I think
That
John
is-
voted twice, actually.
I did. Well, and then I had a dead pet that voted. So.
Yeah.
Typical Antifa tactics, John. So that sounds like.
Yeah.
Joe,
Yeah.
please tell us what we are drinking tonight.
Beer guts.
Was there some sort of like machete hack Isn't that? Did I
I think
hear that?
Caitlin. I think that was a Caitlin sound.
That was my bad. Sorry.
Oh, all right. I thought it was coming through the audio. Yeah, Psycho Goreman. I don't even know where to begin. But a demon, an alien, whatever, comes to Earth and
Both, I think, actually.
yeah, doesn't so much befriend a young child as so much as becomes controlled by.
Enslaved.
Yeah, that's a good word. Well, it's not a good word. It's not a word.
It's not a word I have good feelings about.
Great.
Yeah, today's word of the day. Enslaved. Oh my lord.
And during that process, things go bumpy, but we all learn a little bit about each other. And one of the things that our buddy Psycho Gorman learns is about the power of love. And I picked a beer from the fine folks at Liquid Love Brewing. That's right here in Buffalo Grove, Illinois, John, right up the road. The beer I picked from them is Zorbus, which, first of all, I saw it and I just thought that just sounds like one of the like alien people that comes down, like could be a name. Apparently, I looked this up, and the planet that this Gorman is from, or whatever the hell, it's actually, yeah, it's pulled from the guy who created Dungeons and Dragons, I guess.
Yeah.
So Zorbus, apparently, and nerds, John, you may know this, apparently is like some sort of D&D like rip-off game or something. I don't know.
I didn't know about that, but I did.
Gary Gygax thing.
I knew the
did not know
Gygax
about
thing,
The
yeah.
rip-off thing.
I assume like our listeners are like banging their heads while I explain this. Anyway, they named the beer after that. It's a New England IPA, which I've talked about a lot. So it has like a nice citrusy sort of creaminess to it, John, which I know you love your cream. Like a lot of peach and berries in the flavor, very smooth, very drinkable. Tropical notes, you might say, if you're trying to. I'm looking at a foot and a half of snow that fell over the last day, and I'd like to be whisked away, John. And
I
this
mean,
would be a good beer for that.
John is a little lad who loves berries and cream, so that works out.
He does. Love it. Comes in at 6.7% alcohol, which is, it's a little bit up there, but not too bad. Liquid Love is one of the newer breweries in my area, and I'm a big fan. The name makes me a little uncomfortable, but super good.
Liquid
Orman,
Love.
do you have any of that liquid love?
Liquid Love. Could you fill me up a tall glass of your Liquid Love, please?
Yeah.
But anyway, liquidlovebrewing.com is their website. Definitely check it out. And stop by the house if you're if outside. We'll wave. We'll do like a wave. I'm not gonna come near you.
Well, yeah, you
but,
want to be
yeah.
be safe. It's 2021 here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my beer.
I love it. Thank you for that, Joe. It is
Thanks.
time. Let's take a quick break and review, quote, air quotes, Psycho Goreman.
This is it, Jennifer. Your big break in TV. From the prime time. Main feature.
John, I'm fairly certain that the audio board is dying in real time. So let's hold on to the seat of our
Just like
pants here and see what happens.
Random bang noises.
Yeah.
Just like, burp, burp.
Well,
Okay.
I think the bang noise is Caitlin.
No, I keep hearing like a clink or like a
Yeah,
short circuit type sound.
yeah. There's something happening. Cool.
Like the movie short circuit.
Yeah. It's
Yeah, I keep hearing Johnny Five
Yeah.
Johnny Five.
and that guy with the Middle Eastern accent who wasn't Middle Eastern.
That would be Fisher Stevens, Joe.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
That's his name.
Also in The Burning.
Mm-hmm.
Bring it back to
Sure.
horror. All right, John. Question: how long until we can get a man bun going on? This is really what I need to know.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I could do one. I just don't actually know how one creates. I can do a ponytail pretty
Can
good.
we get some listeners? Can we send
Don't
some
you have
tutorials
daughters?
in?
No, like if I asked my wife, she could like show me, I'm sure, but she would also like probably never touch me again. So
Yeah.
I'm
Good.
not gonna do that.
Wow,
Good
John.
for her. I'm on Susan's side here.
Yeah.
That's the appropriate answer.
Yeah. No, I'm already pushing it. So I do tie it back when I've been running, when I run or when I work out, like I bought all these like headbands, like, sweatbands and stuff. Does nothing. You really gotta,
Are you
tie your
pulling it?
ball.
Okay, I want to know more about this now. Are you pulling it all the way back, or is this more like a Shih Tzu like top knot situation?
No. I go behind the head. No,
Got it.
none of this up
Oh.
here.
Got it.
Bobby
do
pins? You have to pin it down?
do you go behind the head but leave like the cascade in the back, or is it all up together?
No. If I'm going back, I want all the hair up because you got to get it off your neck.
Do you
Otherwise,
pull
it's
the
just like a
front back
sweaty
too?
mess.
Because, and this is not a knock,
Yeah.
but like, I see your hairline, it goes up there. Like I have the same
Very
thing.
high.
Like,
I have a high hairline, but it's been that way since I was like 10.
so, I mean, when you pull it back, do you look like a douchebag, like art
Uh,
teacher from the 80s or something?
Listen, that's all just a matter of opinion,
Or
Joe.
what
That's-
guidance counselor?
Listen,
I think is what
Joe,
I'm looking
I
for.
bet
Joe-
that art teacher thought he looked pretty good.
Joe,
too,
this is
all.
getting a little close to sounding harassed to me, which is not really where I was going with this. So
Oh,
Yeah.
well, no, I definitely am better than bald
Right.
people.
I know you believe that. So yeah.
I mean, I mean, I watched every season of Seinfeld. Like George Costanza did not aspire to be what he is.
Well, that's true. It's very true.
Oh, Joe.
All right, well, that went off the rails. Hey, John, please bring us the word of the day.
Eric, today's word is nebula.
Hmm.
Nebula. A cloud of gas and dust in outer space, visible in the night sky either as an indistinct bright patch or as a dark silhouette against other luminous matter.
I love luminous matter.
In medicine, I didn't realize this, it could also be a clouded spot on the cornea causing defective vision. So I guess that's like you can have that in your old eyes. Nebula comes to us from the Latin. It's actually the Latin word for mist.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Does sound nice.
Look, it's a space thing. Psycho Goreman comes from space. There are parts of this movie that take place on other planets, I guess. So there you go.
Hard to say.
Dude,
Yeah.
that was like, you could not have sounded like you cared less. just
Well,
then.
I was gonna go with galactic or galaxy, and I just felt like that was too easy. I felt like Nebula was like one extra.
Okay,
It wasn't
it.
Goreman.
got it. John, tell me, where on Earth or the galaxy did this movie come from? Or Nebula?
So I don't know if you all looked this up, but the director here, Steven Kostanski,
Hmm.
this is actually the third of his films that we've covered on the show.
Really?
Can you name any of the others? There's
I-
one that you should get that would be pretty obvious in my mind.
No idea.
So he directed Father's Day. You remember
Mm.
Father's Day?
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I ever saw that one.
One of the
But
worst
he did the
movies
Void
we've
also,
ever
right?
reviewed.
Yeah, he
Oh,
did The
yeah.
Void. That was like I think his last feature. But
wait,
yeah, so I was
wait,
pretty
wait.
surprised.
Father's Day the movie, or Father's
Yeah.
Day the short in that holidays thing? Because that was
Yeah.
amazing.
The event.
No. The mo-
He coordinated it. It's
yeah,
his.
he originated the holiday. Yeah, the movie. Remember there was a crazy ass movie. It was actually, and this will be important later. It was a trauma film.
Yeah.
So
Yes, that's what I
um,
thought.
so yeah, he directed Father's Day. He did participate in ABCs of Death 1, I believe, as well. So I guess technically this is the fourth time we've talked about this guy at some level. He is, I learned on Slack from our resident, Canada booster, space lawyer, Adam. He's Canadian, which also is not surprising if you've seen the film. I
Adam is
guess.
always there to let you know, and that's what I love about him.
Well,
I, at a certain point, like stopped understanding what the hell Adam was talking about. Like, God bless him. Just like,
But
I can't
if-
do this anymore.
if he hadn't said that this was a Canadian film, like they don't have, there's no like strong accents, at least to my memory. I don't
Joe, hell hath no fury like Adam with a point to make.
I know, like, and I'm terrified that I said that, but it's true. And I agree with you, John, but it did, like, as soon as I found that out, it has a very Canadian feel to
It's
it. Like,
the comedy, the humor is like
the comedy and even like some of the acting, like, and we talked about it on Slack, and it sounds like I'm joking, but there are certain parts of this movie that feel very peanut butter solution-y, like just the way the acting is done and like some of the tone.
the way
Can
that
you
like
can
a
you
lot
run
of the
by
plot
some
does make
characteristic Canadian acting tropes for me?
Yes, please.
There's a scene where the I think it's where the brother gets pissed off at Mimi and like gets out of the car, and I forget like what they say back and forth, but literally I'm like, that's straight out of the peanut butter solution. Like their tone towards each other.
It's just how Canadian kids speak to one another.
Yeah, like they're supposed to be mad at each other, but it still sounds polite for some reason.
All right,
Nothing
so-
about that girl was polite, Joe. Come on.
That's fair. I'm going to try to give you the quickest synopsis possible. So Mimi is the main character, the main human character. Her brother is Luke. They discover a ancient, I don't know, piece of like technology. It's turns out it's sort of like a coffin that's been used to seal this demon entity that becomes Psycho Gorman, and he's been sort of hidden on Earth by these galactic police. I don't know.
Dude,
We
this
don't need to
like
get into it,
council.
but
I can't wait to talk about
yeah,
these
there's
aliens.
a lot of like there's a lot of like really weird sort of backstory to this film that we're probably just gonna have to let go. But they discover this guy or this entity. He's like an all powerful demon. He escapes, but Mimi, this girl who is a real bastard. She's like top 5 movie character bastards. She keeps the diamond, and because that sealed him in, and because she has that, she effectively controls him. Like he can't do anything, or he has to do what she says, and he can't really like hurt her, like do anything that's against her wishes. So the rest of the film is sort of I think Eric, you described it as a fish out of water comedy of this super powerful intergalactic demon being controlled by a 9-year-old, 10-year-old girl in Canada. So that's weird. And eventually the people who sealed him away, who live in some distant galaxy, they decide they're going to come, kill him for good. And that's sort of the rest of the movie. I don't know. but they learn a lot about each other and about themselves throughout the course of this film.
Cool. Hey, Caitlin, what do you think about Psycho Goreman?
Well, I keep pronouncing it Goreman, like it's his last name.
I'm into that too.
Psycho
First name
Goreman.
Psycho, last name.
It's not like Phil Spider-Man.
Yeah, like a Spider-Man. So yeah, this movie, not for me. I feel like on Thor's, I'm known as the sort of the co-host that loves all the movies. So it's really unusual for me to not like something, and I really didn't like this one. The alien design was cool. I'll give it that. It reminded me of some of sort of the campiness of Doctor Who, and also sort of the ramped up stakes, the fate of the universe. That kind of stuff was fun and reminiscent of Doctor Who. But that's going to be where my kindness for Psycho Gorman ends. For me, the script was so bad, particularly the way Mimi was written. Mimi being the little girl character who controls him. You can write girl characters to be strong and tough without having them be just like terrible bullies who abuse their brothers. I feel like I took notes on my phone, my notes app, and every other line was like, God, I fucking hate Mimi. I want to kick Mimi. I hate Mimi. So she really didn't do it for me. Really couldn't stand her. And the way that she spoke was pretty cringy. I feel like the script, the dialogue was kind of reminiscent of the try-hardness of Juno, that they're like, really beating you over the head with, look how quirky we are. And it just really didn't land for me.
Would you say they Zooey Deschanel'd it the whole
They
thing?
really did, they really did.
I kind of like
Wasn't for me.
Juno.
You had to
and
get that
Zooey
shot in,
Deschanel,
didn't
if
you?
I'm being honest.
Well, as soon as you mention like, look how quirky I am, like they just it's the first thing that pops in your head, right?
I do need to get Leslie's take on Zooey Deschanel later.
Oh God, no! Like,
See, I don't think it's Juno. There's just a bunch of like annoying kid archetypes in movies that they're sort of like aping, but then also they're not good writers, so they're not doing it very well. They're not even doing good imitations of the bad, annoying characters.
No, none of it really landed for me. Like I said, I appreciate the monster design, and the alien stuff was cool, and there were a few funny moments, especially near the end with that. But yeah, Mimi just really killed it for me.
Yeah. Joe.
Oof.
He's so nervous.
I had very, very low expectations for this movie. And a lot of that was set up by a few of our Slack friends, Jamie and Matt, and Renee was also on there talking about how god awful this thing was. So I went in and like to the point where Leslie and I watched it last night together, but all day I had told her like, look, I can just watch this alone. All right. It's going to be terrible. So I showed her the trailer and she said, no, I'll give it a go. We ended up actually enjoying it for the most part, like actually a good amount. And I think from the emails, like maybe more than the rest of the crew here, definitely more than Caitlin for sure. It's stupid. Mimi didn't really bother me so much, and I think a lot of that honestly has to do with the fact that I live with a 9-year-old, and I've seen 9-year-olds interact with each other, and like, God bless them, but like that's how 9-year-olds would act. I don't mean act like assholes. I mean acting in a movie. If this is the part they were given, that's how they would act.
Right.
So I just watched it. I'm like, yeah, that seems fitting.
It doesn't necessarily make it a good decision to do
No.
that, but I hear you.
But it was the role itself was not believable, but the way it was played by I forget the actress's name, but whoever played Mimi was believable.
My new favorite thing are Caitlin's facial expressions when other
Yeah.
people are talking.
The father I actually found hilarious. Like
Really?
there's especially the scene where he was
I-
cooking in the microwave.
I think
And
he's the
he's
absolute
like-
worst thing in this movie.
I loved it. And I
She
think
she is his daughter. Like you can see the
Yeah.
the correlation there.
but also, and this sounds terrible, but I saw a lot of myself in him. Like not the
Okay, Joe.
not the asshole
Mm.
husband part, but like specifically there's a scene where like he just pretty much destroys the microwave when he made dinner. And like the wife is cleaning it up. And like that, I would never do that to Leslie. But his his response there is like, I just made you like a kick-ass dinner. You're welcome. And then she complains about something else and he's like, you're welcome. And like I'm like, that's straight out of the Joe playbook of like
Huh.
being an asshole.
I'm not sure I'm quite ready to dig into all that yet, so let's keep going.
Yeah.
John, what did you
that
think?
that actor was the one of the main characters in Father's Day. I'm remembering.
Oh,
Like,
really? I
He
didn't
was
see that.
familiar. Like, well, he had the guy I'm thinking of has like an eye patch. I'm pretty sure it's that guy in
Mm.
Father's Day.
Dude, he looks
Um,
just like one of the actors in Scarface. That's who he looks like. Because I kept thinking this guy looks like somebody but out of time. That's who it was.
Is that just because of his mustache?
No,
you
no, no,
think?
no, no. He looks like identical. to
His
the character in
mustache was
Scarface.
concerning.
Go ahead.
I had like a, I would say schizophrenic interaction with this film, which is fitting because the movie itself is fairly schizophrenic. I would say so. I watched this in 2 sittings, and similar to Joe, I went in with pretty low expectations. I knew nothing about it. I had not watched a trailer. All I had seen was the like description of the film that's on like Google when you Google it, which honestly, when you go and read it after seeing it, is like not even super accurate. The first hour or so, like the first 45 minutes, I chuckled a couple times. I laughed, I like laughed. There was a couple jokes I laughed at, and I was just kind of like not feeling it. And it was getting late, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna finish this tomorrow. I fired it up the next day. Really ended up enjoying myself for the last 45 minutes or so. And I don't know if it was like being in the right frame of mind or just like having like my my frame reset to just like what they were trying to do. But it's pretty funny. Like there's a lot
Yeah.
of gags in this movie that like landed with me. It almost makes me want to go back and watch Father's Day because I remember hating that movie and thinking it was like so lousy.
It's
And this was like much like I felt like this was at least like a 1 or 2 clicks better in terms of like the comedy just working. I don't know if it's the acting or certainly the writing is all the fuck over the place. Like there's no
This
I have
is
I will not
super-
defend a lot of what's going on. But
Joe, what were you gonna say?
No, I'm literally sitting here thinking about hunky boys and like laughing.
Dude,
like
that
an
was
idiot.
funny. Okay,
there's
this
a
is
ton of jokes that work.
this is the funny thing about this movie is I don't know. It's pretty rare this happens. I'm like kind of in the middle of all of you, and you guys can now fight over who gets me on their side tonight. But I like.
I'm
I
good,
don't.
John.
I know, Joe. Believe me, I know. But
Caitlin, have
I
fun.
have never been more back and forth on a movie, and it was like there were literal scenes where I'd go back and forth 7 times depending on who was on screen. Okay, anything to do with a creature effect, with gore, with like this silly mythos they built up for who this creature is. I really enjoyed. I loved like the physical and the voice acting of Psycho Goreman, and I really enjoyed the whole shtick of like he is hilariously, earnestly bleak and like evil in a world that doesn't take him seriously, and it makes it to me really funny. Also, like there was a weird ASMR quality about his voice to me. Like I would like to figure out how they did that and whose voice that is because it was kind of amazing. But I get that, and like I don't know, I was really into that part. There's a 90s Power Rangers kind of thing going on with this like council of aliens and all this shit.
Well, in the
But
fight scenes, when
here's
he
where
fights
this movie
people
gets
are very
here's this movie gets confusing. Every time a human being opens their mouth in this movie, it's fucking awful. And I cannot overstate that. These are some of the worst, unfunniest characters written I think I have ever seen.
Yeah.
And
There
it's
we
like
go.
Father. The
literally in
father.
the middle
Yeah.
of a
I
scene.
did. We'll just agree to
It was
disagree here.
like literally in the middle of a scene, Psycho Goreman would say something and I'm laughing, and then they'd cut to the girl and she would say something and I'd get mad, and then it would go back and forth. There's a scene where because they start doing these really really cool, like it's a mix of practical effects, stop motion animation, a little bit of CGI, but a lot of like 90s low budget style sci-fi effects stuff going on, and they would cut to almost like a Terminator style. Here's what happened in this unit. Here's the history of this. And that stuff is so cool. And there's one where they start to get into one. I got really excited. I'm like, oh, cool, we're going back to this. And then it smash cuts to the girl, and she's like, ew, my piece of candy doesn't taste good. And I'm like, I fucking hate you so much.
But
and
that
I-
was intentional. Like that was.
I
Like,
don't care if it's
he
intentional. It's not
wanted
funny.
that to happen.
It's not funny.
Yeah.
That's fine. But this is what I'm saying. It's like it was written by two different people, one of which was funny and one of which super was not. And I want to
It
make
was
sure
all
to
the
make
same
it.
guy, just
I
for the record.
personally want to make sure to make it clear too that like this is like a little girl who wants to be an actress. Like it's not her fault. She is. It was to me a really deeply bad decision to make little kids like the comedic heart of this movie. To a degree, like I think I said over email, the person who made that decision should have decisions taken away from them, because I kind of question how they're functioning like out there in real life. Like, so I really don't know. I think I like this movie, question mark, but you got to get through a lot, and there's a lot of people who are going to sit down and watch this, and we know from Slack, like straight up not going to be able to get over specifically this little girl. But I think the father is almost worse, because like he should know better because he's an adult, and like
Yeah.
the
I
and
When
did
they teamed up
enjoy-
at the end, I was so.
here's
mad.
another
I was
question,
like,
and
"Boo."
Caitlin raised this over email, and she's dead on. What universe does the father get a redemptive arc in? Like, everything the wife says about him is 100% true. It's not like she's being set up as a nagging wife who's saying things about him and he's really a good guy. Let's give him a redemption arc. He's a piece of shit the whole movie,
Yeah.
and then he gets a redemptive arc at the end. And I do not understand it as being either funny or emotionally something I can connect to. Like, there is, I can't take credit for this. Elizabeth said this, but it's like they're not following any tenets of any kind of narrative structure. Where like they're not giving you even
Yeah.
a character arc that you can latch onto. They're not being funny. It's just like it's like an alien AI wrote this movie.
That's so, but that's totally intentional, right? Like, so, and the Father's Day connection makes a ton of sense. The thing I think I said it over email, like, to me, so we can talk about, but like, this is like I think I said this is the best version of a trauma film that I've ever seen, right? Because it feels very similar to that same, just like completely inane, almost nonsensical plotting, characters like doing just insane shit for no reason, you know.
Yeah.
Sayings, like every word out of someone's mouth is like supposed to be like a t-shirt, and so like I don't know, once I like got to that and I was just like, oh, this is going to be completely nonsensical, like then what when you were talking, the thing I was thinking about is like I'm almost enjoying thinking about moments in this movie more than I enjoyed
Yeah, that's a really
watching
good way
the
to put
movie
it.
when I was
So
watching.
like Psycho Goreman has amazing moments. Like when he sees this like Hunky Boy magazine or whatever, and he's like, I'm not interested in hunky boys, and then he's like, or am I?
Or am
That's
I?
a dumb joke, and it's really fun. Like there's funny jokes about him sort of like transcending space and time, and then like being interested. Like this scene where they have him. Okay, they want to go play handball or something, but
it's
they
called Crazy Ball.
called Crazy Ball,
whatever.
yeah.
Again, but that whole
Crazy Ball.
scene, fucking, it's not funny. But him in that costume was the
100%
funniest
funny.
thing in the movie. Like in the cowboy hat and the denim. Meanwhile, they're standing next to a 3-foot tall sentient brain and not worried about disguising this thing. That shit is funny. Like that is what's
Yeah.
funny
That's
in the
very
movie.
Doctor Who to me and like very fun.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Regardless of what the intention was, whether it was supposed to be, goofy and nonsensical or whether we were really supposed to, I don't know. I feel like they really wanted Mimi to be endearing and like sassy. And I
Oh,
just found
see,
her
I
just
don't. I thought-
insufferable.
No, it's like
Yeah.
it's like they saw every role Jonathan Lipnicki ever did, and then every kid that was modeled after that, and then they were like, "What if we did this?" But like it wasn't funny. Like, what if we did that?
No, look,
She's a bully. She's so mean.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, she
and-
sucks, but then she sings that song, and it's total redemption. Like everything's cool. I mean, I think
she's
the thing
definitely
that-
one of the weakest parts of the film. I mean, I don't disagree with
I
that.
just,
The thing that
it's
threw
crazy.
me
Like,
off-
I
Yeah, go ahead.
cannot think of another movie where I went so hard from like, holy shit, that was amazing, to like, I'm gonna burn this movie to the ground. And it was like 40 times I swung back and forth during this movie.
The thing that got me about the father is, I think up until they actually separated, I thought it was just a gag. Like he goes, so there's a scene where like they're trying to fill in this hole, and then like he says like, oh, he hurt his hand, he can't do it anymore, and I'm like, I just thought that was a shtick. Like I thought like everybody in the family knew Dad was just goofing around because he doesn't want to do it. And then at a certain point, the wife is like, "I'm leaving you." I'm like, "Whoa, oh,
Yeah,
this was
it
all
comes-
serious."
it comes
Joe,
literally-
that's gonna be how it ends with you and Leslie. You're like, I thought we were
Exactly, like-
riffing.
It
Terrified,
comes
like,
literally
Leslie's
out of
gonna walk in
nowhere.
and be like, "I can't do this anymore." I'm like, "Oh."
I just think like there is, so here's my problem. I think like there is, the script should be communicating to me how I'm supposed to be taking this. Like, is the father stepped on but really good guy and funny? Is it funny that he, like, is the wife supposed, I have zero information given to me from this movie of how I'm even supposed to take this. So it's just
Oh.
confusing to watch.
See, I
You're-
thought
you're-
for myself. That's the thing. Like, I had
No,
my
I
own
get it, Joe.
opinions.
Yeah, I there was never a point where I didn't think the dad was supposed to be a dick, and the redemption is kind of like a fuck you to the audience, where it's like, again, I think the goal is to, undercut everything that you would normally expect to see. Like if you have an expectation about what's supposed to happen, like they're gonna fuck.
I
with
think
that
if you
just
take
to,
out
like,
if you take out the
you the
little
thing.
girl, or you like severely make that way, because there's like once or twice in the movie where she has like a response to him where I laughed, but they're the most like controlled muted things. It's like the more over the top they're making her, the less it
Yeah.
lands. But like if you had like really fixed that character, I feel like I could have dealt with the father stuff on top of it. But
see,
like,
I
They
actually would
almost
say
felt like outdated tropes, though. Like the trope of like, oh,
Yeah.
she's a sassy little girl, and this guy's like a schlubby piece of shit dad. Like that,
Well,
it just like doesn't land the way it used to. It's not 2002.
well, here's the
Piece of
thing.
shit
It's
dad is
Canadian
fabulous.
though. Like,
Yeah.
so
it's like
all-
here's
I
what it
think
is. It's like a
well-
science fiction version of According to Jim.
like Eve
Yeah.
6 is just becoming popular in Canada. Like they're like 20 years
What I
behind
would
us.
honestly like, so one thing I think this movie does really great is that it's obviously low budget, but the creature work is incredible, and they actually
it's
kind of
really good.
build. They do this great job at universe building, while also really working around their budget, because they spend most of the time just like walking around the woods or like at the park, right? Like those are cheap shooting locations, and then they were sort of, because even the big like monster battle is just, it's not in space somewhere, it's just in the
Yeah.
woods. But in a world where these people could have had as much money as they wanted, like I want to see a movie where one non-annoying kid goes to like Psycho Goreman universe, and I want to see like that movie. I mean, you lose the fish out of water, but whatever. Like I loved this, like this council of aliens was probably my favorite part in the movie. Like they're super funny. The brain in a jar thing is
Yeah.
was probably my
Yeah.
favorite. Like that shit was
I
really
was-
funny. You know what? Do you remember that show Farscape on the Sci-Fi Channel? I literally never watched it. I just remember seeing the promos, but that's like what the creature effects reminded me of.
I don't
I
know.
feel
I
like
mean,
there was
it
a
wants to have the charm of a low budget sci-fi original, but it just, I don't know. I'm going
Ah.
hard against this. I just wish Jamie
No,
was
it's,
here.
I mean,
wish
look,
Matt
it's
was
totally
here.
fair. Clearly, this lands like different ways. There, like that brain in the jar thing. Eric was talking. There's like there
It's
was a
so
gag
funny.
where one of the other council members covered its eyes by
Yeah.
by putting its hand over the jar. I
Or
don't
at the
know, like,
very
that's
end
just-
when they're just defeated, and he's like, "Who wants to kill themselves first?" You can't. You see it right before they cut the black, but the brain in the jar raises its hand.
yeah.
That shit's funny.
The effects in this harkened back to my Guar days as
Totally.
a teenager. Like and
Dude.
Caitlin from Richmond, and we actually talked about this on Slack too. Like all these characters are like stolen directly from like the Guar movies from like when I was growing up. So I don't know. I mean, the effects or like the costumes and stuff, I guess looked cool, but like I think it was like the one thing that really didn't impress me with this. Like because it felt very cheap and like definitely like something I saw like 30 years ago.
Even the
which-
one that was like a bucket that had lots of body parts in it, and then like the glass window that he punched. I mean, like,
Yeah. Fun fact, like while talking about this, Matt on Slack and I realized that we were at the same Guar show
Amazing.
like 15 years ago.
Well, like the Psycho Goreman suit is kind of incredible. Like I really love the neon pink kind of touches to it because otherwise it's just kind of just one color. But he sort of has these like glowing veins, and then when he bleeds, it's like bright glowing pink. But it looks, I mean, they shoot that thing in broad daylight for most of this movie, and it looks incredible. It's
Yeah.
so good. Like the preacher work
No,
in
his
the whole
design
movie
is cool.
amazing. And I love like, but also I think it intentionally a little bit, like with the villains especially, this whole fight in the woods is full on Power Rangers. Like
Yeah.
that's fully
Yeah,
what it
for
is.
sure.
There's
Yeah.
the same moves, like
Yeah.
the jump kick, but then you kick with the other leg.
And there's little
fall
subtle
over.
shit
It's,
too. Like right before
ridiculous.
they fight, there's one character in the background that is 100% doing an idle animation from a fighting game menu. Like the character's literally just like going like this and like rocking back and forth.
Yeah.
Like that stuff is all really funny. Oh, my favorite, I wanted, before I forget, my favorite Psycho Goreman line of the character is when he's, I was saying this to Caitlin in the pre-show, but when he's like, what is love? Is that like when you tear your enemy's spine out and then present it to their loved ones? That was funny.
I mean, look, like it's funny because you were talking about the right. I mean, the writing for the girl is just, I don't know, like whatever. You can say reprehensible. You can say they were trying
just
for something.
cringe.
Listen,
Yeah.
I like, there's part of me, John, that is kind of coming around to your theory that it was like intentionally flying in the face of tropes. The
No,
problem
I-
is that when I watch something and a character makes me like aggravated to the point of being angry, like it kind of doesn't matter what you're trying to do, it's going to take me out of it.
Well, and so again, like I would say that that's like a takeaway from like the trauma experience that this guy had, where I don't know, it just feels like they're all so everything's got to be like an affront to the audience
Yeah,
to a
right.
certain extent. But the no, what I was gonna say is like the Psycho Gorman dialogue was great, and like the same with the council, like they talk in this weird. I mean, Kayla mentioned the stakes are so high. Everything they say is just like so ridiculously over the top, and you know,
Well,
it's very
everything has a
ornate,
really
the language.
Ornate is dude, perfect word. Like he will talk about a lot of like concepts from the homeworld, stuff we never see, but he describes it in the most like grandiose language possible.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah, yeah.
it's really funny.
I did have a
Uh,
lot of trouble piecing together like what sort of universe this whole thing took place in, where like kids could blow up in the middle of like the town square and nobody bats an eye.
The one kid gets turned into a walking brain. Did you guys see
Yeah.
the final scene in the film? I
Yeah.
think it might be over the credits.
It's a credit
and it's
scene,
just the brain sitting down at dinner with his
Like
Dinner.
eating dinner.
The
Yeah.
parents play it straight.
I
yeah.
really liked
Uh,
it's subtle, but like the trail of goo on the playground that you could see where he came out of the grass,
Yeah.
and then he just goes home back into the woods.
But like people are legit getting murdered, and like the kids never bat an eye. Like even the parents, I think.
Neither do
are
the parents.
aware
Well, in the
that
opening
this is
scene, the
happening.
girl's gonna bury her brother alive, and it's like never touched on again.
Yeah.
She is abusive, yes.
Is
The,
that why they were digging the hole? Like I didn't fully
Yeah, because
understand.
he
like, what
lost
the
the
hell was
bet
happening.
or
'Cause he
whatever.
lost
So
the
then,
game.
yeah, so she's like, all right, start
So they were
digging,
gonna murder him. Okay.
and that's
that
how they
was
find.
they make a bet. It's like the first scene is they bet about the game that they're playing.
And that, I mean,
And-
that aspect of itself, the fact that that's like a joke, it doesn't make any sense in the universe, and it's never talked about again. It does lend itself, John, just to the idea of how much they're trying to be silly and like throw
Well-
conventions out the window. I get that.
I love the one thing in this movie, because you guys are talking about how no one bats an eye. The one thing that they all get super grossed out about is, and this is a repeating joke, but Psycho Gorman does the what is he calls it, like a warrior's death, but it's when he actually eats his opponent,
Yeah.
and he has this like detachable jaw. It's actually
Amazing.
completely over the top.
The gore stuff is
and they
incredible.
do it several times.
So here's
Yeah.
another thing I'll say about this movie. If I had somehow now in the like when we were kids, right? Let's say it's in order to stumble upon a trauma film, like you had to either like have parents who would just rent you literally anything without looking at it, or maybe you looked older than you were, whatever. It was harder, is my point. Nowadays, like any kid who's kind of let freely to stream stuff could get a hold of this movie. If I saw this movie when I was 12, I would grow up to be 40 and be like, oh, have you guys seen the greatest movie ever made? It's called Psycho Goreman. So like I
Yeah.
think that as just kind of like old people, it's important to appreciate that aspect of it, of how transgressive and insane this movie would feel if you were a kid.
Well, who is the audience for this movie? I didn't catch what it was rated, but they use the F word quite a bit.
It's
So I didn't.
definitely R. I mean, there's
Okay.
a ton of like blood.
I think it's horror
Might be
fans,
unrated.
like adult horror fans
Mm.
/ kids who get their hands on it. I feel like,
Well, no,
which is
but do
which
they-
is
I was
in a
gonna say,
lot
do
of
they
ways the
use-
trauma audience.
Do they use? There's not that much cursing in this movie because one of the like recurring jokes is the kids, because they're kids, say that they have this whole thing about the F word being frig, and
Yeah.
even the parents I noticed
Like the language
that-
wouldn't matter though.
But I
This
mean, like
gore
people's
is
heads
Well,
get ripped
yeah, the
off.
gore is
Yeah,
so much.
well,
the
when
language wouldn't matter.
when he sort of like invades that in that warehouse, they're like, "We'll fucking kill you too," and then
Oh,
he
yeah.
he kills them. So there were significant.
there was like, there's no
yeah.
nudity though. There's not. I don't know. It's a.
Thank God. That would be very.
There
I
are
was-
some
I was
funky
hoping for
boys,
some-
though. I mean,
I mean, you could always use a
Psycho
little
Goreman.
nudity,
Upper
right?
male
Like,
nudity was featured.
That's true.
Or am I?
There's a brain. There's a couple brains. you
There's
see
nude
just fully
brain. A nude
exposed.
brain. Yeah. I could not stop laughing at the disguise that he had on at the park. Like just that whole thing was fucking chef's kiss.
Yeah.
It was so good.
He looked like Joe Bob.
Casey
He
mentioned
did.
there's another movie Casey brought up over the email was Turbo Kid. Did you guys see that movie?
No.
no, I didn't.
Mm-mm.
So we watched it for like a really old Fist Called Cinema. You know, shout
what?
shout outs Fist Called Cinema.
Not familiar.
But it's similar and different. Like this, I don't know. This is like more bonkers. Like that movie was very much like an '80s kind of sci-fi homage, like low budget '80s sci-fi. And this is, I don't know. It's there are elements of it that are similar. I mean, the low budgetness, but the Father's Day is like a much better comp for this in some ways than that.
Yeah, man.
The question of who the audience is, though, Eric, I think your point is an interesting one. Like, if I'd seen this when I was like 14, maybe not 12 or something, I don't know.
I mean, we also
I
I feel
would've
like
been
I
pretty
still would have been like, no, this is not what.
Oh no, I would have ate this the fuck
I would
up
have
at
been,
12
I would
years
have
old,
been
dude.
pretty. I
And
would
that,
have been
listen,
pretty down.
like,
with this.
I feel
that's
like I
fa-
just would not have seen myself in Mimi. I feel like they're trying to be like, she's so spunky, and I would have been like, I just hate her. She's
Yeah.
giving us all a bad name.
As soon as one spine got ripped out, though, I
Oh
would have
yeah, I
been
would have been
like,
like, fuck
fist
yes.
pumping.
Yeah, dude.
If she
Oh,
were
yeah.
sweet and they played it sweet, it would have been funny.
I
I
think
mean, she could
too,
have even been like a little bit sometimes mean, but she
But
was
in a-
just so insufferable.
in an on-demand,
She's really
ever
cute.
streaming world, like who your audience is, kind of matters less. Like what matters is somebody gave you money to make a movie, and then it fucking doesn't matter. Like this movie will, like you have to be less concerned about that than when you're putting it in a theater. Is my point. Like when you're distributing it like this, you can be way more niche, even if that niche is indecipherable. Like
Well, so
someone
presumably
somewhere
this is
thinks
gonna be
they
on-
know who this movie's for.
This is not. So right now it's streaming for rent. It's like a VOD thing, but it is a Shutter has a deal
Yeah,
with
it
the
had the
movie.
Shutter logo at the
Yeah.
beginning.
So,
So,
yeah, I'm presuming this will be on Shutter.
And
pretty
it's
soon.
unclear to me how much they're like, if they're like financing or actively producing stuff. I do not know.
Well, they're giving somebody money if the
Somebody got
name's
something
showing
if
up
it's
on the
on it.
front.
Yeah, exactly.
maybe they're just fans and they wanted to put the logo on the front. Like,
yeah, people. Yeah, okay.
would have been
That's
nice
possible.
if like they flashed their like coupon code.
I think we've upset Joe. I feel like he saw himself in that dad, and we tore him apart.
Yeah, that dad was relatable. I don't care. Trying to bring me down just like that wife tried to bring him down. I get it.
I'm trying, yeah.
It
I
was
don't know.
so bizarre. It was.
I think
like-
if any of you had gone to Guar shows growing up, you would have like
no,
had a
I mean
warmer
that's
spot
the
for
part
this.
I love,
Listen, the
dude.
gore was fun. That
Joe,
was
were
great.
there like lazy, ineffectual dads at Guar shows too? Because I understand the Guar stuff.
Yeah, I was one of them.
It's
just
actually
saying.
like the subtext.
I'm saying,
subtext
like,
to a lot
that's
of
the
Guar
shit that
songs.
makes sense to me. All right, is there anything else you guys want to bring up before we move on here?
Hunky boys.
Yeah, I was trying to think of like other gags that I really enjoyed.
I was too, and I just keep going back to hunky boys.
There's a lot of stuff. The cop that gets turned inside out and then becomes
Oh
like
my
sort
God.
of a sidekick, but is also trying to like shoot Goreman all the time.
All right, I
Well, he's
had
trying to kill himself too. I
I
thought.
had a real problem with that cop's physical performance. Like it made me uncomfortable in a way. I
Because he
don't
was like firing nilly willy into
Yeah.
the willy nilly into the.
He was trying to shoot
Forrest.
himself. You're right, Kayla. There was like total. That was like the first thing he did.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right. I think that'll do it. Do you recommend Psycho Gorman. John.
I if you like trauma movies, you're gonna love this. And if you are just trauma adjacent, maybe consider. I don't know. It's hard. This is a real hard one. I'll say
Caitlin.
maybe.
Caitlin.
No.
I like it. Short and simple. Joe.
I am unfortunately ending month-long friendships, but I'm gonna go yes.
I'm gonna abstain. Like, or I'm gonna go with John's maybe. Like,
Yeah. Okay.
I
yeah.
cannot think of a single argument against the people who like the little girl character basically turned off from the whole movie. But there's also like a lot I appreciate about it, and so I get the people who really enjoyed it too. But I'm still a little agnostic on it as far as recommending. I think.
It's
I
definitely.
do have your best of lip list in front of me, Eric.
I mean, at
if
this
you
point in
wanna-
the year, let's do it. Let's do it on the other side
Yeah.
of the break here. You know.
I was
Alright,
gonna say
guys.
this is the ultimate. You have to know who you're recommending to.
Yes.
To recommend. The
And I
movie.
think
It's
like in
not
7 or 8
anybody.
months, like it's gonna take me some time. I need some time with Psycho Gorman to really like figure it out, you guys.
I honestly want to watch this again this weekend, high out of my mind.
I
'cause
dude,
feel
I
like
had that same exact thought. Yes.
Will be.
So
a
that's
lot.
your plan. Eric's going to take it to therapy and work it out.
Yeah,
with
yeah.
his
Yeah.
therapist.
Would it be possible for you to watch this movie and then come back and talk to me next week? Can we table everything else for now?
You give the therapist homework.
All right, guys, that's gonna do it for Psycho Gorman. Let's take a quick break and do some fan mail. And we're back.
Hmm.
Jojo,
Hey.
let's take a look at that list there, buddy.
Oh yeah. I mean, right now it's promising young woman.
So that's number 1. Let's put that at 1, and let's put this at 10, and we'll fill between, and we'll see what happens.
Alright. That makes sense.
Boy, what a
Still January.
what
Eric.
a wonderful. I mean, let's really think about this for a second.
Sticking it to the patriarchy.
What a wonderful thing movies are, that they can bring us both something like Promising Young Woman and Psycho Gorman. That's really art is incredible, John. That's what I'm trying to say.
Art.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. My brother went to high school with him.
Okay.
Speaking of art, the Wendy Williams Lifetime movie is on this Saturday.
Yeah, that's true.
If you're looking for a back double feature, high
All right,
so
so
movie watching.
right now we are in the end of January. That means we are coming up on February, which is Women in Horror Month. We decided that we wanted to do a little promotion here to celebrate the occasion. So we talked about it, and what we're going to do is similar to what we did this summer with the Blackout Tee. We have made a Women in Horror Month T-shirt design in our TeePublic, and we're going to donate the proceeds all month, the whole month of February. And honestly, we can just start it now, Joe, if that's possible.
No.
Just- Okay. Joe.
Sorry, it's like an.
God damn it, Joe.
What a misogynist. Jesus.
Look at the calendar.
Look. We're already giving away a whole month. I'm not giving extra days.
Okay, Joe. All right, so we're giving all the proceeds to Rain, and it'll be anything in the store. So you've got this. Elizabeth helped us design this really cool pink logo that we're putting on different things, and basically you can get that shirt or you can get anything in the store, and the proceeds will go to this charity. Caitlin, you, Cece, Sophie, Valeska helped come up with this idea, suggest this charity. Do you want to just explain a little bit the work they do?
Yeah, so it's RAINN, RAINN, and that stands for the Rape, Abuse, Incest National Network. RAINN has been around forever. I think it's coming up on its 27th year, and it is the largest anti-sexual assault violence organization. They're the ones that operate the sexual assault hotline, and I did write down the number just in case anyone might want to check it out. It's 800-656-HOPE. They do sexual violence prevention. They do a lot of advocacy work. They have programs and resources for survivors and the families and sort of caregivers of survivors. They also help victims find justice and do some public policy. Really great organization. And Joe, you'll be happy to know that it was co-founded by one Tori Amos.
Oh my god, am happy to find that.
Yes.
Yeah,
Caitlin
she
told me-
puts on an annual rain benefit, or she used to. I'm not sure what the deal is with COVID, but yeah, some of those rain shows are my favorite ones.
Caitlin told me that after she suggested it, and I was like, "That's slick." There, that we got Tori Amos back in the show.
It all
No,
comes back.
in all
Who
seriousness,
else have
yeah.
you seen at this, like with Tori Amos? That's not even a sarcasm. I'm like generally interested to know like who else is.
I think one time she toured with Ben Folds for like it was a piano-based tour, and
No
I
joke,
love Ben Folds.
I love Ben Folds and
No,
the
he's
Fives.
great. Ben Folds, I mean, one of my all-time favorites. Those are both up there for me, and they both play piano, so they were grouped
my
on
first
tour together.
ever-
But I cannot think of a worse duo just to put forward for like that. The audience does not cross over well. It's just me.
That was
Yeah,
my
I
first
could
ever
see that.
concert, Ben Folds and Beck. Yeah, so there you go. So the whole month of February, they seem like a really amazing organization. Obviously, I was looking into it, and they do like a really wide swath of like support and work. So if you go to bloodygoodhorror.com, you can click on T-shirts. That'll bring you to the store. You should see it as our latest design. And like I said, it can be anything in our store, and we'll start it now all through the month of February. I'm working on making a custom URL. It's not working yet. I blame Mark.
Good old Mark.
Frickin'
We should also point out that, and this will go live on Friday. I think T-shirts will still be on sale. They're all T-shirts are $13 right now. And then in the month of February, I'm very excited about this. We have a patron exclusive discount that we're going to be
Oh.
sending out
I love that.
on all our merch. So patron.com/bloodygoodhorror.
That's awesome. Okay, Caitlin, there's a couple things before we get to fan mail here, just a couple things you want to plug. Please do. So.
Yeah. So the podcast that sort of got me started was our friend Danny's podcast, Thor's Hour of Thunder. It's always a little chaotic, but in a shit show, but we have a really good time, and you'll find lots of familiar Bloody Good Horror folks on there. This week, Elizabeth was on. Elizabeth is on Slack. She's Eric's girlfriend. She's wonderful. And we covered Losers Take All, which she's actually in. So that was a lot of fun.
Wait,
Thor's
what?
Hour of Thunder. Yeah, she's an extra in the background.
No. All right. Well,
Joe. It was Caitlin. I listened. It was a very entertaining show. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, there were some cool backstories there about, catering and all that kind of stuff. And then also I wanted to give a shout out and thank you to Jody. Jody does trivia for Bloody Good Horror every Saturday night. And he also designed me a website for my spooky crafts, which is CaitlinGrantCrafts.com. So Jody is like a backbone of Slack. We love and appreciate him. And he did a great job.
Yeah. So if you go to Thor's Hour of Thunder, you can check out in iTunes.
do you guys ever sing that? Thunder, the bunda, hit the hunda. That's a song, right? What's that song, John?
Yeah, no, you got it.
Who is that? You know what I'm talking
Well,
about?
Yeah. Isn't it called like? Fuck.
Hit
I
the
looked it up.
hunda.
I know
hit
what
the
song you're talking about.
hunda. Anyway, you should sing that song on your podcast.
I was with you, Joe, the whole way.
Thanks.
I'll be singing nothing. Elizabeth did play an intro on the guitar for the show, though.
That's
but
true.
For everyone's safety, I will not be singing.
All right, info@bloodygoodhorror.com is the email address. First up, Caitlin in Kissimmee. Did I lose this email? Well, basically, remember last week she emailed in about what I thought about Promising Young Woman, and it turns out she said, "Oh, I thought this movie was 9 hours long." It turns out she thought we were watching a different movie. So, whoops.
What was the movie that she thought? we were
Hold on,
watching?
let me see. I lost the email. I thought I copied it over, but I didn't.
Hit the hunda. Hit the hunda.
Hey, go ahead, Joe. You got it. Do that. Oh,
We're gonna have to pay for the rights now.
Kaylin, I was high AF when I emailed. I thought y'all were watching A Good Woman is Hard to Find. That movie felt 9 hours long. I'm not familiar with that movie, so.
Mm-mm.
So there
Hit
you
the
go.
hunda.
One we can avoid.
Next up, Andy with some notes from bloodygoodhorror.com. Natalie has a new Primal Scream discussing Jungian. Joe, you got that? Jungian psychology in the upcoming film Come True. Coming soon, we'll have a new In Extremis from Adam on La Llorona. That's Adam's thing where he writes about like the legal implications of horror movies. Sophie, Luke, and Andy will be checking out Sundance Film Festival this weekend. That's really cool. So they'll be having some reviews on the site. And lastly, a friendly reminder, this is from Andy, that if you want to see Psycho Goreman, oh, this is good. Many independent and nonprofit cinemas have it available for rental through their websites. Chances are there's one in your region you can support. So this is something, it's a cause I know really close to Andy, that independent theaters, in lieu of like really being able to have business in the house, are starting to facilitate some of the streaming and get a cut of it. So if you know, like, you can search to see if you have one of these theaters locally, find their website. I'm gonna find it because he sent me a resource that actually lists a lot of these theaters if you're like having trouble finding one. But that's a really cool way that you can like support your local independent theater while like staying safe, which I know for some people like me, like my ass is not going to theater right now. So it's a way you can do
You
it.
heard it here
And
first.
it doesn't have to be Psycho Gorman. It can be any good movie.
I think it's the underlying thing is Caitlin does not want you to support small theaters.
Hate small business. Always have. I've always said this.
I should say too, Andy bought 15 boxes of my daughter's Girl Scout cookies. Like, yeah, far and away,
Phew.
amazing. I mean, some people on this podcast bought
Is he a
none.
millionaire that I didn't know about?
Listen, Joe, I bought from a local troop. I'm so sorry. Got to give to the local council.
You know, that's your deal. But no, I should say thank you to everybody from the podcast and our Slack group and our listeners that did buy, like, amazing like numbers that the kid put up this year. You still can buy some if you go to my Instagram. I think it's Joe BGH. There's a link.
Do
So.
you feel bad for the kids who don't have dads on podcasts?
Famous dads.
No, fuck those kids. Their dads should be better.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. I get you.
Get a podcast.
One last
Joe, we
email,
don't need the competition.
one last email tonight from OG BGH fan Randy. He would like to know where is it Mimi? Is that her name?
Yeah.
Where does she land on her list of most annoying child actors of all time? He has her at number 2, between number 1, the Babadook kid, and number 3,
Yeah.
Brahms the boy. What do you
Yeah, I
think?
mean, Babadook is like far and away like the
Yeah,
worst kid to ever be
and
imagined.
frankly, I refuse to entertain any the boy slander, so I'm not going to accept that one.
Yeah, that was a pretty solid ranking, I think.
It's good.
Was the boy the annoying though? Like, are we talking about the
doesn't-
doll or
it
the
doesn't
kid
say
that was
anything.
in there?
the doll.
It's basically just Schnars as a porcelain doll. How could you hate it?
Yeah.
Yeah, come on. I take that personally. What do you got to do for that doll?
Stars is porcelain. Look at his skin.
Got good lighting here, Kaylin.
Anything else, Eric, or you want to move on?
Sorry. Info at bloodygoodhorror.com. Joe,
Moment of silence.
Joe, we're done. Go for it.
Hunda, to the Hunda.
Go ahead, Joe.
All right. I guess we're doing tweets. We're on Twitter at BG Horror. We use the hashtag AskBGH if you want to send in a question or comment or, just get to know yourself. First up from Renee, my number one fan, Dos Ex Manati. I'm probably saying that wrong. If you had your very own Psycho Goreman for a day, what would you make him do for you? Personally, I can think of a few people who could stand to be turned to goo.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I mean, I think we all have a goo list.
I don't know. I mean, like,
I do, Eric, but I don't think it's the same as what they're talking about.
Joe's goo list is like Lady Gremlin, Fairuza Balk, that kind of thing.
Heather Gay from that your show.
Wait, what show? I don't know. Oh, yes. Wow.
I don't know.
I
Is it,
remember her
Callback.
first and last
Callback
name.
to last
Jeez.
week.
I know. I've never had anyone listen to me before. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't have him murder anyone. I might sit on work conference calls or something.
I would have him like if I needed to move. I feel like he'd be efficient.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. Maybe just like on the weekend, cook dinner and stuff.
It's true.
I guess
Like,
like
watch the kids. Like, just keep.
I
them
was
from
about to say,
hurting
would
themselves,
you
but-
feel comfortable having him watch the kids? And I feel like I would.
Yeah.
well, yeah,
If you
because
have
he's
the
got a.
stone.
Yeah, if you have
Yeah.
a stone, you're good, dude. Yeah.
Speaking of our buddy Adam, attorney at Space, he said, in honor of PG, what was a piece of media you liked that you were considered too old to enjoy, i.e., SpongeBob or TikTok?
So this is actually really relevant, but I when I was like a teenager, would watch a lot of Power Rangers in the afternoon, and was definitely too old for it, but it was just on, and I was like high half the time. I was like, cool, man, Power Rangers. Like,
I don't think I think Power Rangers. My prime Power Ranger watching
Watchers.
was probably like 4th and 5th grades, maybe 6th. I don't know. Like, but there were definitely times in high school where it was like it was on, and I was like, this is great. Like, what's the problem here? So, uh, like I swear to God, half of the media I consume right now is like for 4 to 6 year olds.
well,
So
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I like
A
you
lot of
say
it I
that like it's
enjoyed.
shocking when you have multiple 4 to 6 year olds.
Yeah.
Like that
I-
makes
I
sense.
really
I think the
enjoyed
point
the-
is,
the
John,
Baby
like on
Shark
your
song.
own. Like, what is the thing you enjoyed on your own, John?
Mm.
What did you say? Caleb?
John shook his
ba-
head so
the
hard.
Baby Shark song.
I like the Baby
Holy
Shark song. That
shit.
song
No, that's
is-
pure.
Yeah.
I don't have
That's-
kids, so I don't have to listen to it on repeat. But
Or
I
just
think
have
it's a
them
good song.
singing it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I mean, I
They
could do the
moment
dance.
passed a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Um,
when I joined TikTok, it did make me feel old. But then, like, I found other old people on there that I can watch them do crafts and stuff. So it, made me feel a little better.
I don't know. There's not really much media that I'm consuming that I would say is like age inappropriate that doesn't involve my children.
Right.
I mean, I play a lot of video games. Like, there's video games that I'm playing where I'm.
This is a really interesting answer, John. Thank you for sharing.
I think you froze too, John.
Bummer.
Yeah,
No.
oh,
I was
look
waiting
at
for
him.
him to get to his point.
It looks like he's like constipated, right?
Oh, and he's gone. Oh,
there he is.
you just got unfriended, bro. That was crazy.
My computer is like legit tripping out right now. If I disappear,
We should wrap this up. At a certain age, you're probably too old for hand jobs too, right? Like that's like you get.
Joe, they are timeless. I don't know what
No,
you're talking
I mean,
about.
Honestly, and not to
Never.
get like too offended. When's the last time you had a hand job, John? Right? Like,
Oh my gosh.
Well, we've
He's
already
thinking.
established
He's thinking
the
about
hair
it.
is not helping my case.
I mean, like once you get out of your like teenage years and like maybe early 20s, like nobody's giving hand jobs anymore.
You gotta keep it versatile, though.
I'm not diving into
Yeah,
this.
I mean, I was gonna say.
I don't know. We'll
Probably
put up
is-
we'll put up a poll.
When was the last HJ you gave/received?
Yeah, like at what age do you feel like you've outgrown hand jobs? Sometimes people
That went
from-
to a weirder place than I think.
yeah,
probably
yeah,
intended. But
and there are people from work that I know like potentially listen to this, so it's gonna be weird. All right, next up, Erie, Arizona. Has a horror film ever hit you in the feels and made you cry?
Oh
The
yeah,
Mist.
dude. A lot. Yeah,
Mm.
there's been many.
I don't think that made me cry, but it definitely like
It kind of
Gutted you.
guts you. Though.
Yeah.
yeah.
I,
I-
I-
I was gonna
actually,
say-
A Quiet Place when he's like signing "I love you" before. Well,
Yeah, I mean like
spoiler alert, but
cry is a lot, but like I found the ending of A Dark Song to be incredibly like impactful. Just that whole journey of her trying to like reach her. I think she's trying to communicate with her dead son, right? Isn't that what it is?
I think she was seeking revenge at
Or something
first.
like
but
that, yeah. But like the
Spoiler
angel, like
alert
it's just
again.
very. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that movie being very impactful. I mean, what
Any
are
other movies
Relic?
we want to ruin the end of
Dude.
while we're here? Like,
I
Relic
think it was the Sixth Sense that really got me at the end.
Relic is an incredibly powerful movie. I mean, and designed to be so, obviously.
yeah, any of the family stories are,
yeah. Well, I was gonna say it's always like the parent-kid stuff. I can't think of nothing that made me cry, but definitely a lot of like.
If I look through the
Benedita
list, I'm
moment.
sure there's someone there. Skizbot, our buddy, who is your favorite director? I'll modify for Schnars and ask who his second favorite director, since we're all very familiar with his Cronenboner. Cronenboner? Cronenboner.
Cronenboner.
I don't know. I don't know if I have a favorite director.
I have
Like,
very white guy answers, and I can't be sorry for it. I think Scorsese's probably my favorite director. Like,
yeah, like I was gonna say that, but like
legit, like
Yeah.
just from a technical and like kinetic, like just the energy of his films, like no one makes movies like he does.
yeah, like I don't think I've ever seen a movie of his where I disliked it. Same would probably be for Tarantino too. Like I've never disliked a movie of his I've watched.
I feel like it's kind of a cop-out answer, but I'm really excited for whatever Ari Aster has planned next.
Yeah, yeah,
His
for
first
sure.
two were so good.
That's not a cop out. That's a good answer.
Tarantino would have definitely been up there. I would say Wes Anderson. I
Yeah,
like.
yeah, that's a good one.
I feel
Love- I mean-
similarly about like Kubrick. Like I don't think anybody
Well-
gets near like the stuff he did.
Kubrick is like it's like there's like a plane that he's on, and then everybody else is sort of like a level.
Yeah, John.
Did you see Eyes Wide Shut like that?
John, they
I
have to about our
haven't seen it
favorites.
since
That's how
high
that
school. I
works.
kind of want to go back and rewatch it because I know
Yeah.
people that love that movie.
Yeah,
Like,
I
they
guess I
swear up
should
by
go
it.
back and watch, but like it's unfortunate that was his last movie.
Didn't he die in the
Um,
middle of it or something?
The
Or
other
was
one I
that-
was thinking about was Fincher, although I'd have to look to make sure.
Yeah, I'm
You know.
sure there's some clunkers in there. All right, Black Metal Jesus. That's our buddy Armando. What is your favorite kaiju film or monster?
it's not really my wheelhouse, but that last Godzilla movie where all the monsters there and they're all fighting was like kind of incredible. Like the monster action in that movie was just insane.
I do like.
I
it.
feel like-
I mean, I'm in the same boat. I haven't seen many of the like. I know I've seen only the more recent Godzilla films. The one, the Japanese one, that was out probably like 2016 or something, 2015. I ended up watching. I think it kind of got like swamped. It was called Shin Godzilla, I think. That one was great.
Is Pacific Rim, does that count?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, sure.
100%.
100%.
Yeah, I think,
That's
dude,
about
they
as best I
don't
got.
they call them kaiju in the movie? Don't
I
they
don't
call
know.
like the bad
People who
monsters
are like
that?
serious about this kind of stuff though are getting very upset right
No,
now.
no,
This,
no,
this is an Andrew
like, yeah,
question for
I
sure.
think that Pacific Rim 1,000% falls into that category.
I watched a ton of those when I was a kid. I did love the original like Godzilla versus King Kong.
See,
Like,
I didn't watch any of them. And I had a stash of them I found on VHS and bought once, and then I ended up getting rid of them without watching any of them.
I did watch that trailer, by the way. You guys have all seen that now.
Yeah,
Dude,
looks
that trailer
bananas.
gave me chills.
It's gonna be really, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I kind of
Um,
love how cheesy it's like a Kong will only communicate with this adorable little girl, and I'm like, that's right, you guys. It's because she understands him.
It's Adam
Uh,
Winger too, isn't it? Didn't someone say that? I read that somewhere.
Yes, I think so.
Kip's brother, right? It's Kip Winger. All right, over on Instagram. Nobody gets that. I get it.
I got it, dude.
We are on Instagram, Bloody Good Horror. Every Tuesday we post up. You just want to send in a dumb question, we'll answer it. First up from our resident refuser of using the form. Keeping the initials PG, what would you all name your maniac monster, assuming you found yourself in such a situation? She also confirmed that it was Imagine Dragons Thunder is the name of that song.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I don't.
Wait,
Um,
so you have to keep the initials PG?
I also think
Oh.
the name. Yeah, that's I think what she intends.
I
on.
need
Oh, yeah.
way more notice on these, Joe.
I think the
There's no
name
way I'm
Psycho
gonna come up with
Goreman
some
kind of
stuff.
sucks, so I'm down for renaming.
Porcelain Gooch.
Oh, I didn't
God.
remember
Wow.
in our hometown, Eric, that was that asshole cop, Phil Gallup. I would name him that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Holy
And
shit.
then I just make him
How
punch
did you
himself
know
in the
his name was
face.
Phil?
Yeah.
I just knew
Yeah,
the
that guy
last name.
sucked.
That's incredible. Was he a cop or was he like one of those constables?
He was a cop. He was always like, remember the story was he had a dog as his partner because nobody wanted to be his partner because he was such
No.
a piece of trash.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Eric might not have been as into the lore around this dude. as he
Yeah.
Well, he did.
No
He
more.
didn't have a partner. Like he would show up to bust up parties and he would have a dog, and then like the other cops would show up with partners. I mean, small town cops. Like
It's
you know,
it's all
what are you
small
gonna
town
do?
bullshit.
He's a
I do
huge
not-
fan of the show.
I'm not smart enough to think of a
I
good,
think he might be dead, Caitlin.
acronym.
Actually,
I was gonna go with that, but I thought you might feel bad. But now I know that you don't.
I wouldn't. No, not based on the way he acted. I would not. Excuse me. All right, let's bang out these other ones. First up, when will the team review Psycho Goreman? I'm starting to think maybe I should mention what movie we're watching when I do these. All right, why didn't Joe filibuster the anything? Why didn't Joe filibuster the anything for Jackson vote? And if he did filibuster now, what would he talk about?
I mean, that's what your cameos basically are.
That's
are
pretty
filibusters,
much
yeah.
what my cameo is all about.
He's been practicing. He's warming up for the filibuster.
Absolutely. So I mean, yeah, like if you just watch any of those, like it would pretty much I would filibuster about like porn and Disney World and like God knows what else. Which by the way, Valentine's Day right around the corner. If you want to spend your special someone,
Dude,
we're getting
yes.
like a steady trickle of like 3 or 4 of these a week, which I'm amazed by.
That's incredible.
I
I think
but
half
yeah,
of that is Dave.
cameo.com/ I think it's Bloody Good Horror.
I think Dave's.
Uh,
I think Dave's got like half of those.
Yeah. What's funny is Dave sends them in, and I always forget Dave's last name. So I talk like I've never met him.
It's Fuji. It's Dave Fuji.
All right, here's the next one. Did Schnar show you his secret ink yet?
Who is that even from? I
It's
don't
from.
even. I don't know.
It's our buddy who designed our T-shirt.
Wait a minute.
The old T-shirt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a tattoo, John, that you're not telling
No,
us?
I don't know. I don't know.
This
Because
is the
that- I
second
don't-
time he's brought it up, so
That answer, like I saw a thing in your eyes there, where now I'm starting to wonder.
it's
I
definitely
mean,
a
look,
tramp stamp.
I'm not anti-tattoo. I would get one.
Can
but
you lift
it's-
your shirt up and give us a spin, please?
Well, here's the thing. I don't think it's a tramp stamp. I think it's like on the pelvis, like
Like how
Yeah,
people
yeah.
get stars
Like
or
on the front
guns,
of his
like on
hip.
your
Yeah,
hip bones.
exactly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But it's the
Uh,
Duke D.
It's definitely what I would have done.
There's still time.
Yeah, no, it's true.
who? All right, next up, who wins, Kong or Godzilla?
Or Psycho Goreman.
They team up and they kill something else, I think is probably what's going to
Yeah.
happen, right?
I mean, I think I saw someone like made a comic out of this or something. It's like Kong is just a giant gorilla, which can do damage, but Godzilla is like a walking nuclear power plant. Like,
Well, what's funny is in the movie, you see the one in the attack scene where like he's using like a piece of a building to like block the fire or something because like he needs extra things to do this
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, 100%.
He needs weapons.
next up, do you still wake up screaming? I don't know.
I sometimes have lucid dreaming and I wake up and I don't know if I've been screaming, but I don't think that I do because it's happened to me in like in college classes and no one was looking at me. So I'm going to guess no, I was not screaming.
All right, well that got a little real.
Just inside.
I'm just saying, dude.
Didn't think we were gonna have
Let's keep
serious
the
answers.
Next one to yourself, maybe.
All right. Sc- oh boy.
Listen, what are we
scariest
doing
animal
here? What
in
are
a
we doing
movie?
here for not being honest with each other, all right?
Have you guys seen Anaconda?
Scariest.
Ooh.
I taught
Yeah.
Anaconda. that
scariest
thing is fucking
scariest animal in a
scary.
movie. Is that what you said, Joe?
I feel like
Uh,
Matt would be
scariest
upset if we
animal.
didn't talk about the crawl from Crawl.
No,
I posted a
those
picture of those like cat people from that movie Sleepwalkers.
yeah, I would say
Those
that weird
Deep cut.
bear mutant
Yeah.
in Annihilation that opens its mouth and
yeah.
screams like the lady it just killed. That's pretty messed up.
You watched? Have you guys seen the Jungle Book movie? By the way.
yes, yeah,
No.
yeah.
Pretty good.
Solid.
John
yeah.
Favreau knows what he's doing, making these
Those
movies, guys.
like live action Disney movies, I think get a lot of flack because they're just remakes. But like we watched the Mulan one a couple weeks ago. It is great.
Oh yeah, I gotta watch that. I heard the Lion King one was a little weird, just 'cause
It
of
was
the-
all right. That has
Yeah.
been the weakest one we've seen.
I really like the Lion King one, and all of the animals are like vaguely terrifying in
Yeah.
the Jungle Book. So
All right. Last but not least, moving to Philly next week. Any advice?
congrats.
Yeah. Well, my advice was
Good news
don't.
for you.
Just don't. But I will say I think it's 33 West Sampson Street. I got to double check. But the building where I lost my virginity, I'll send you the
The
address.
Joe walking.
Yeah, we've
tour.
gone over
Yeah.
this before. Somebody on Slack actually like walked by it, didn't
With
they?
Jamie and Matt, who
Yeah, yeah.
unfortunately I crossed today by enjoying this movie. Did actually go and take pictures in front of the former Planned Parenthood building turned apartment complex
You know
where I
what,
lost
man?
my innocence.
Having a podcast is cool. That's all I got to say about that.
Yep. Right? That's true. Like, how many people can say that two
Yeah.
like people they've only met once took a pilgrimage to see where you
Dude.
lost your innocence
Pilgrimage. That's
To-
what they did. Yeah.
to a young lass you met on AOL one evening.
Wait, what?
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, yeah. Her name was Jessica. I never saw her again.
Wow, dude, you like Tindered before Tinder. That's incredible.
Oh yeah, yeah.
How'd
Oh,
you
I
know
was
what
way
she,
ahead of my
how'd
time.
you know what she looked like?
Oh, I mean, we had pictures. We exchanged photos, and then I met her. Like we didn't like I didn't like wait in a dark room and have her walk in and we made love. Like I saw her before the
I like
coitus
that you're
took
telling me
place.
this like I know. This is why I'm asking the questions because I don't know and I want to.
Yeah.
Did you
Yeah,
have did
same.
all this happen in the same day?
Like, oh no, we had talked online for a while.
This was
and
the
then
first time you met though.
The first time we met up, yeah.
Wow.
Early
Of all
20s.
the euphemisms Joe has used, what is your favorite for fucking? Is it made love,
Oh.
coitus, or lost innocence?
Lost innocence, I think.
Coitus, I don't use much. Innocence, I enjoy a great deal. Made love, I always think is funny because it's, I mean, it's like a woman I met once. Had sex with. It's not like we made love.
Joe, can I
It's
ask?
like this beautiful, sweet, passionate-
Jessica.
Can I ask? Did you
Is that-
guys meet in a
Yeah.
public place?
What's that?
Did you meet in a public place?
I think so. I mean, I lived in Philly. It was the middle of a city, so like, yeah, I think we met outside and then walked around for a bit and then returned
Oh my
to
god,
boudoir.
this is so
Joe,
lurid.
the important question is: at what point in the evening did you get married?
I didn't know they had 24-hour chapels in
I
Philly.
got you, brother.
Got him.
Man, I have so many more questions.
Yeah, I'm here for it.
All right.
It was a
I'm
beautiful
gonna.
thing.
I think I'm gonna take notes and come back at you next week. How's that sound?
Yeah, that's fine.
Love
I
it.
mean, I will say the thing that stuck out to me, during this whole event was like she was obviously faking the enjoyment because there's no way, like, like even like during the act, I'm like, you're not this happy, like, no way.
Wow. Okay. That really threw me for a loop here. I gotta collect myself.
Dear God, if people I work with do listen, like, I'm definitely not gonna have a job next week.
I like this, Joe.
Your
you
job is
know?
cameo, sir.
Makes
Yeah,
you,
that's true.
It makes you real, Joe. You know?
Yeah.
All right, guys, that's going to do it for Psycho Goreman. What places we never could have imagined. That's the beauty of Bloody Good Horror. Don't forget, we are celebrating Women in Horror Month by donating all the proceeds from our merch to RAIN. So you can go to bloodygoodhorror.com, click on T-shirts, check out our new pink logo design or anything else in the shop, and that'll all go to charity. And yeah, don't forget to send your freaking loved ones a cameo for Valentine's Day. What more could
Really,
they want?
I'm here if you want to break up, if you want to,
Forget
if you
about-
want me to get them in the mood, like,
I
I'm
want to
definitely.
send one to Jessica.
Forget about swinging through the drugstore on the way home from work. Just shoot Joe an old cameo, give him a little bit of lead
Yeah.
time, and yeah, you're gonna be making love before you know it.
Yeah, she's gonna throw out, he or she, whoever your loved one is, like, they're gonna throw out that card after a week, but they're gonna keep that cameo. They're probably gonna watch it to get in the mood, like, to have, they've had sex with you.
I
many
assure
times,
you,
but,
for the
like,
rest of their lives, they'll be saying, "Remember that time your Valentine's Day gift was a
Yeah.
cameo from a podcast I've never listened to."
remember that time Joe was our foreplay.
That's right.
Joe was our fluffer.
Okay, so there you go. Love. I think that's the theme of this week's show. So I like that. We're not sure what we're doing next week. Stay tuned. We got some picks going on, and we'll talk to you soon.
See ya.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye now.
You gonna say bye-bye?
No, I think you usually do it, don't you?
Bye-bye.